experience.
The important thing in tech is it wasn't your fault.
Absolutely.
So I have a shortened availability today. I know we were going to maybe truncate this a little bit. Did you want to jump right in?
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
First of
um,
all, do you have reports on ETH Denver? How's the team faring?
You know what? Well, we have Al out there. We have Maddie, and we have Tara, and they have boots on the ground. Just been getting business partners together. I think we have 4 new partners interested as of yesterday. Obviously, we have to get them through the pipeline before we can make a bunch of big announcements. But overall, a lot of people have been really showing a lot of interest in getting engaged with the Prometheus project. Some people are interested in running their own version of Prometheus. Some people want to scale up Prometheus with their own network. Some people want to start providing Prometheus with different resources like GPUs. Some people want to start using Prometheus to auto integrate their tech into Koii and vice versa. So there's a bunch of different partnership opportunities that are coming about. ETH Denver is, I mean, any ETH event usually comes out very fruitful with these things. But yeah, I think people are really excited and turning heads. We've even actually gotten our investors to get excited and start looking at more deals and stuff like that too. So there's probably some good news that'll come out of ETH Denver for sure. Which really does lead us into what we're doing here at Koii, which is the Prometheus project, and that's kind of what we want to talk about today with our short time.
Excellent. Well, either way, ETH Denver is never a total loss because they give free espresso.
Oh my God, it's amazing! it's it's fantastic. Oh, those conferences are amazing for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, well,
Uh,
without further ado, I mean, today we have an engineer from the Koii team, Laura here, to talk about the Prometheus builder. And it's kind of a rare treat that we get, the other engineers and stuff from the Koii team to come in. So I was wondering if we wanted to jump right in and just start talking about the Prometheus project.
Sure. What would you like to know?
Yeah. Well, there's 3 things I'll pitch out there. The first is if anybody in chat has a question about Prometheus, 247 agents, AI on Koii, start just dropping questions in chat and we'll try to start getting to them. The next is, I guess, Chris, do you have any interesting or burning questions about the Prometheus AI, or I can just start shilling? I'm down to
yeah.
shill.
Yeah, I'll always ask you to kind of like keep the layperson in mind, which in this case is myself. So try to do as many concrete examples as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Well,
go for it.
if you want, I can just sort of give an overview of how this whole thing works.
Yeah, let's get the
Um,
ball rolling.
yeah. So the Prometheus Builder is an AI agent, which is basically just an LLM that is given the ability to use tools. What that means is we write tools and we tell the agent what tools are available, and then uh, when it wants to use a specific tool, it tells us which tool to use, we execute it, and then we give it back the response. It's still an LLM. All it can do is generate text. So we have to do the actual part of executing the code. And so the Prometheus builders, what we did is we gave it a specific set of tools and a specific workflow, which allows it to write code, run tests, and then create GitHub pull requests, which are basically just um, once the code is written, it needs to be added to a project. So the pull request is that process of saying that I have code, I want to add it to the project. And then at that point, we have another set of agents which will read all the code, run the tests, confirm that they all work, and then create a report which says whether or not the contribution actually does what it's supposed to do. At that point, then you can have a human go over the contribution as well as all the reviews from the AI, and then do the final adding of the code to the project.
Whoop, sorry, I was muted there. Yeah. That's the overall of the Prometheus tool. And it really comes down to this is what we're calling it Prometheus, right? It's like the Greek myth of Prometheus sort of stealing fate and fire from the gods and giving it back to humanity. Um, there's sort of this idea that what the Prometheus project for Koii is to sort of do the same thing for AI, right? Is to give them fire, right? To give them tools, and now they can actually start doing things. We've seen how impressive LLMs are, large language models, or that's what an LLM is. And that's what a ChatGPT is. It's what a Llama is. It's what a Grok is. It's what a Gemini is. If you ever Google something and you see Gemini kind of try and insert something into, it's searching the internet. It's using a tool to search the internet, and then it's looking at all of this data and it's trying to answer your Google search faster, right? This is what LLMs have been doing pretty traditionally, which is basically just generating text and generating text on top of texts. So historically, we've had a lot of functions are basically, hey, look at this image, or hey, look at this PDF document, or hey, search the web, right? And then give me more text response sort of based off that. So we decided, well, if LLMs can do that really, really well with I don't know, these sort of language based problems, can it sort of start inferring about code? And so we started experimenting with a bunch of LLMs. We came across the Claude Sonnet, the Anthropic family of language models. Anthropic is just a company, and they own a model that's called the Claude family of models, and it's really good at coding. And so we said, okay, what if we could do this thing where we gave AI tools to program? Instead of being able to search the internet, what if they could do things that developers could do? And that's sort of where we're heading, right? What if Koii can be the place where we keep giving AI tools to do things that developers can do, the really hard things, and then eventually, if that's open source, we have everybody in the network who's running the node. We're all running these language models, and we're all trying to improve everything together. Sure, every individual step might be incremental because it's AI, and the responses can't be as sophisticated as a person, but it's AI and the responses can be faster than a person. We ran the Prometheus test over the last 3 weeks, just the first version of our beta, to see how quickly it could generate code. And it was able to make about 5,000 code contributions in that time. That contrasts to a human speed probably would have made maybe 10 across all the developers in a large ecosystem. We did an article on it actually on X if you want to read more about it. But essentially, we've proven that AI can code at light speed, way faster than humans ever can. And if we give them the
What
right
was the
tools, sorry, go ahead.
what was the quality of coding versus that human pumping out 10?
So one of the things that we did is initially it was just writing code and we weren't checking it, but what we did is then we implemented a second step where we actually have agents reviewing the code. And we get, I think, above 99% of them, uh, the review comes back as approved.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to watch and to just be a part of this whole journey. It's insane. We got a question in chat. Can existing projects from other chains expand onto Koii using Prometheus to shortcut the integration? And the answer is yes. That's sort of the premise of a lot of these partnerships that we're building, is that we're eventually going to train the Prometheus AI to write Koii tasks. We have a bunch of Koii tasks ourselves. We're the Koii team. We can get it done. And once this AI can actually write Koii tasks sufficiently, then integrating from any chain, as long as they have good docs for our AI to look at, should be, you know, perfectly sufficient. Should be really, really easy to do. And that sort of auto integration, I think, will be a huge sell for Koii. It's going to be a huge network boost because imagine an AI that automatically integrates itself into your network. Like it gives you all the power of Koii and it just does stuff for you as long as you give it the right direction to go in. super powerful. I think everybody would want that, and we're seeing that at ETH Denver, for example. People are just like, yeah, I want to partner with Koii. I want to partner with Koii. I want to try this out. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, right? But the risk is so low that everybody's excited to get in.
And
Um,
I just wanted
Sorry.
to give an example of this. So I have been working on the sort of the Prometheus framework for agents, and what I did yesterday is after I completed the initial design of the project, I refactored it all. Um, I made it a lot easier to generate new code or to generate new agents. And so yesterday, what I did is, as a test, I took our internal agent, which uses the Anthropic API, but isn't actually Prometheus, but it's the same model, so the same quality of code. And what I did is I told it to generate a new agent based on the code that I had written, and it was done in about 30 minutes.
Yeah. So that's just as a frame of reference, that's crazy. I mean, and
Yeah.
it just worked?
Yeah, I had to go through a couple of iterations. It got about 80% of the way there on the first prompt, and then I had to do a little bit of tweaking to get it the rest of the way there.
That's fantastic. I think that's hugely impressive.
Yeah.
I see some typing in chat. Oh yeah, we got a question. Uh, excuse me.
I
Is
can
there?
answer that question.
Go for it.
Okay, so um, using Llama or DeepSeek is
Oop,
something that we actually have been working on.
I want to read the
Um,
question note first. Sorry.
oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Is there a plan to modify the existing Prometheus workflow to use a local open source LLM like Llama or DeepSeek so that running the task is free instead of paying to use
Yeah,
the Anthropic API keys?
yes. This is a problem that we have known from the beginning, and we are trying to come up with a solution. Um, we have been experimenting with Olama in order to run various local LLMs. The problem at the moment is that the Olama API is giving us issues. This is not something that um, that sorry, got sidetracked. Uh, it's not something that we can do immediately because, unfortunately, as I said, we're running into issues with Olama itself. But it's definitely something that we are going to continue working on. It's not something like I absolutely understand, paying for API is not ideal. Um, but there are some technical challenges that are going to make it take longer than we hoped.
Yeah. Um, Something that we're doing in the dev webinars right now is playing around with other schemas to get other AI models working. So if you're interested in participating in that process, join the dev webinars. We have open source repos. Pick up the Orca package if you're a dev and just try and figure out how to make these open source LLMs work. And we're more than happy to try and implement your open source code into what we're doing too. Like if the community dev becomes a part of this, or if you guys know devs in the community that want to be a part of this, that's sort of how the network really gets that. It's how the community gets involved in what we're doing. And I really want to see that. I want to see more of the community having a stake in what we're doing. And then, guiding the flow and the direction of where Prometheus will go at the end of the day. So if you guys want local LLMs, you don't want to pay for the Anthropic API, which we get, but it's something you guys want and you're telling us that, that's great. But be a part of that journey. And kind of look into it. Give us more suggestions. You don't have to be a dev. If you're not a dev, just give us feedback and start talking about it. Make Twitter posts. We actually have an incentive at the end of this happy hour, which I'll share for you guys to get a little small Koii airdrop if you follow and like and retweet and comment on a few little X posts that we have from the Prometheus Swarm X account that we just made. But there's a lot of ways to get involved. I'll talk about that a bit more in 5 minutes. Just wanted to see, do we have any more questions? Doesn't seem like we have questions. Chris, do you have any questions?
I do, but I don't want to distract because I
I
don't.
think we have 5 minutes.
Well, So I'm wondering, and maybe this goes hand in hand with what you're saying now. I'm wondering, as all of these projects launch using AI agents, um, there's bound to be a whole bunch of overlap with programming and code. And I'm wondering if this is built to have like a main ecosystem or LLM with these individual tasks just being plug-in modules that can use the existing code base, or does everything stand on its own?
So that is the goal eventually. Basically, the idea is to have this entire process decentralized, which means that we will have agents that create the to-dos and turn them into GitHub issues, and then other agents that take those issues and turn them into like and implement the task. So the entire process will be basically a plugin process. You might need to tweak it a little bit if your task is um, complex or it's a really specialized use case. But for the most part, the whole like the general flow of it will remain the same for every single task.
Okay, and so that obviously cuts down on both effort and bloat, well, and probably inconsistencies. So individual contributors will be just sort of building out the fringe, um, kind of in an expanding universe, rather than having to sort of reinvent the wheel for a lot of these
Yes,
things.
exactly. Yes.
Oh,
A lot of the work that I have been doing right now is actually turning this whole process into a reusable framework.
that's fantastic. So,
We
Abby,
have
that was my question. If you want
yeah,
to launch into,
we have one more question, I guess. That I guess I'll happy to answer is because we have some people interested. Is it going to take longer? Since it's going to take longer to get the free version of the Prometheus or the local LLM version working, and since the task involves handling more complex assignments, is there any way to implement a fixed reward system? We're supporting the project, but as of now, we're essentially paying to use Prometheus when it should be the other way around. And I think that's super valid, and I completely agree. I think that this is the kind of feedback that I really want to bring back to the team internally for us to start discussing this thing. We do want to reward you more. Is the end of the day, you guys are the ones supporting it, and we're super appreciative of that. We've gotten stellar numbers, and it's because of you guys. You guys. So 100%, I'd like to look into a way to make sure that everybody's happy. One, we're not going to stop looking into the free version. Yeah, it is going to take a little longer than anticipated, but we're not going to stop doing it. We're still going to get you to that free version. And in the meantime, the team can definitely talk about more rewards. More than happy to bring it up and see what we can do to properly compensate you guys for basically supporting and helping grow the network. In the last 5 minutes, I just want to bring up that we have a little promotion going on. There's going to be an airdrop for anybody who does the following three things. I just posted it in chat. First, you got to follow the Prometheus Swarm X account. You need to like, retweet, and comment, and then you need to fill out the form. Um, to fill out the form, I believe you might need a screenshot that you were here in the happy hour, so I suggest you take it right now. You have, I believe, 15 minutes to fill in the form if you want to get a little airdrop. So do all the three steps, move in to fill out that form, and you guys will get airdrops as long as you get it done in the next 15 minutes. Um, with that, I think we can all sign off, unless there's any final comments from the team. Any
yeah,
alpha?
I want to add one more bit of work to your week. Can I ask that you start looking into alternatives to Twitter as well when you run these campaigns like Blue Sky?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, that's great advice. 100%. Actually, I believe we
Especially in
have.
this political climate. Like people are leaving Twitter pretty
And you
in
know
mass.
what? We actually do our Quala certification. So we have the Koii Web3 and AI leadership accreditation. It's a program that we run to give people certification under the Koii banner. And actually, in that program, we use the Blue Sky. We use Blue Sky and we use the Blue Sky API because it's so friendly and it's very usable for Koii tasks, for Koii users. Uh, it's a wonderful platform, and honestly, I'd like to see Koii involved in it a bit more. So
Great.
yeah,
I signed up, but I haven't really posted anything yet because I'm waiting for Koii to get more of her presence on there. So
you know what? That's probably a note. I see we have Ina here. Hopefully, I'll we'll see if we can coordinate to get something done.
sorry about that.
No, it's actually great. Especially because something that's really nice is anything we put on X, we could probably basically do the exact same thing on Blue Sky. And then
Well, that's what I was thinking. Have an agent do it.
the light, I just sent you the link to the previous happy hour on Bob's account. And when this recording is done, you can get the next one, and I'm pretty sure on the same account you'll be able to find all the other recordings. Sweet. Well, yeah, I hope to see some form fills on that Prometheus thing. I mean, speaking of ways to incentivize and get some rewards for running it, here's another way. Other than that, yeah, thanks Laura for coming in from the team, taking time out of your day, and thanks Chris for all for this exact same thing, taking time out of your day and showing up
Yeah,
and
gladly. I'm looking
yeah.
forward to next week and hearing others come on and report how the conference went.
Yeah, I am too. Hopefully next week we get to see Al, or maybe might be the week after actually. But soon we get to see Al, and he'll get to tell us all about it.
All right. Have a good week, everyone.
Have a great week. Happy Friday.
Happy
Bye.
Friday.